Have you done anything wrong?
No.
Nothing at all?
We may have some technical violations, I believe clerical, but I believe we've none. Other than bookkeeping and mechanical, I think we're in good shape.
Do you see any reason why you might have to give up your seat over this?
None. Absolutely none.
That was five-term Congressman David Schweikert just 2 months ago when I asked him about the ethics scandal engulfing his office. For more than a year, the Fountain Hills Republican has claimed it was all about bookkeeping and clerical errors, but he spent more than $500,000 and counting on lawyers. Now we're learning more, much more, about this scandal, and a congressional office described as a snake pit. Schweikert's Democratic opponents see blood in the water. Can Schweikert survive this? And welcome back to Square Off. A 424-page report released last week by the Nonpartisan Office of Congressional Ethics revealed Congressman Schweikert and several current and former staffers refused to cooperate in the investigation. The report recommended they all be subpoenaed to testify. Joining us to discuss where this investigation is going and whether a safe Republican seat could be lost, Laurie Roberts, columnist with the Arizona Republic, and Barrett Marson, Republican political consultant at Marson Media. Welcome back to Square Off. Who want to take the first crack at summarizing the allegations in the report released last week?
Bram,
You're dying to, Barrett.
Bram, I'll take the $500,000 stab at this.
Okay.
Basically, it's pretty easy. You know, David Schweikert's chief of staff, Oliver Schwab, took the vacation of a lifetime, got to go to the Super Bowl, got to go to the Phoenix Open, and we all paid for it. So that's part of it. Did he do any business while he was actually out in the district, as they described the trip? So that's number one. Number two, he made an illegal campaign contribution to David Schweikert. Staffers are not allowed to make contributions to their bosses for obvious reasons. You know, they could be forced to, that kind of thing.
Oliver Schwab did.
Oliver Schwab.
Okay.
And then another big one is the Schweikert campaign paid far in excess of what to Oliver Schwab what he was allowed to make. Again, top staffers are only allowed to make so much money from outside work from Congress, and he far exceeded that. And he had to pay some of that money back, a majority of that money back, as a matter of.
Okay, so here's a question. Viewers are going to hear Schwab, Schwab, Schwab. What about Schweikert? How is he implicated in any of this, any of these allegations?
That is the question. I mean, I think that we don't know yet, but this investigation goes on. The two warning signs for David Schweikert are, as you pointed out, the huge amount he's spent in legal fees defending against this thing that he says isn't really about him. And number two, the fact that he refused to cooperate with a House congressional ethics investigation. That's a big old red flag.
Not only is it a red flag, it runs counter to everything that Congressman Schweikert has been saying for the last 6 months to a year.
Over a year.
Almost demanded an investigation. We are happy to have this airing of the grievances, and yet he's not participating. And then you got to ask, well, what is all this money being spent on for lawyers? Again, it's well over $500,000, and we'll see how much it is in the next report that comes out next month.
The problem, though, is if this is all there is, and that's a big if at this point, I have a difficult time seeing voters getting really exercised about something that is chief of staff. He will spin it as it's this rogue chief of staff. We didn't know what was going on. It's a typical thing that the chiefs of staff handle those sorts of office things. Congressman Schweikert was on to bigger and better things, and that will sell if there's not more here.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, good point. And he's also now blaming a disgruntled former staffer who hated Oliver Schwab.
Yeah. But, you know, this disgruntled staffer didn't take the all-expense-paid vacation, didn't earn the $60,000 or $50,000 in extra money, and didn't make the illegal contribution. So you can blame the ex-staffer, and that's a good talking point. It's just not really going to fly. It's not really going to work.
So 3 Democrats are running.
Right. The question is a Republican district going to spurn a Republican for Congress in favor of a Democrat over this? So far, I don't see it.
Yeah, I think we're going to have to wait a little bit more until, because this has been shrouded in mystery, and that's probably the way it should be. The Ethics Committee is continuing its investigation. We'll probably need to see a little bit more of the results of that before we can really make a determination whether the career is dead or whether he can make a rebound. But he's certainly, big problem, he won't have a lot of money to fight whatever Democrat comes out of the primary, especially if it's Hiro Topanini, a pretty strong campaign.
Interesting point. Dems are targeting the district. Outside Dems are targeting it. And as financial reports show, David Schweikert's legal bills are really hurting him.
Absolutely. He has no money in the bank account because it's all gone to legal fees. And he's paying legal fees for both him, Oliver, it used to be at least Oliver Schwab, and then other staff members.
But why does he need any legal fees paid on him if it's not about him?
Well,
this is the question.
Right.
Yeah, there
Okay, 12 months from now, will David Schweikert still be running for the 6th seat in November of 2020? Yes or no?
Barring any bombshell, I'd say absolutely yes.
You know, Bram, I'm on record on this show already as saying that there will be a special election. So I'm going to go with no.
Okay.